Hi, welcome to Miss Annette's Little Farm in the Big City. Today is actually winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. And even though I have a lot of things done ready for winter, I have a few things that I need to do to get ready for the very cold weather that they're predicting for us here in the middle of Indiana. I remember after winter in the spring, all the bees come out to use the bathroom. Of course, I didn't know that at this time because I was a first-year beekeeper. I didn't realize that they were going to poop all over the place. And I was so scared. I thought they had diarrhea and I thought they were dying. It was just a normal thing for them to do. Put on a little hay on the sides. It can still get air. But this will be kind of a wind block for them. And since my hive doesn't have any trees or bushes around it, it's vulnerable to the high winds and the cold that comes with those winds. And I don't know if this is going to help or hinder. I don't have any data to tell whether this is going to work or not, or whether I'm just being a silly old woman, which I probably am. That's okay, because here on the little farm I like to try different things to see if they work. And if they work, I'll try them again. And if they don't work, I might try it again differently, or I might not try it at all. There's no fear here on the little farm of trying new things. I do believe, though, that this turkey is way too big. This doesn't suit me. I'm going to take this off and try it differently. I closed up the holes, except for this one right here, so they have a hole to get in and out of if the weather gets nice. And I've just closed it up with some thyme and some straw. Well, here we are in the barn. In the plastic. And I think we'll still get plenty of light if I double it. But I'm too short, so I'm gonna go get a step stool. That was a little bit easier than the other one for some reason. Maybe because I'm up higher. I think I'd like to have one of those staple guns that are automatic or something. I was just thinking about something. Just thinking about the first year I had chickens. And the chickens were my first farm animals. I had bees first, but then I got chickens. We had this little tiny coop. It's the old duck coop. Used to be the chicken coop. And then we had a little tiny area that was fenced in for the birds. It was really cute. Anyway, I'm thinking about the first winter when I had chickens and how terrified I was of them freezing to death in the wintertime. I didn't realize how hardy animals are in the wintertime at that point, because it was my very first year of having chickens, and I was really concerned, and I covered the whole chicken run with plastic. And plastic like this, you know, real thick shower curtain kind of plastic. And I made a mess of it. It was, and first windstorm came through and it was all over the yard. The weather doesn't bother me so much anymore. I'm a little more comfortable around my animals. I know my animals a little bit better than I did that very first winter working with animals. We used to have the galvanized feeders and waterers for the chickens our first year when we started out. I think we continued having those, and what we did, we bought a heater. It was like a heater pad. It was a big circle thing, and you plugged it in and it kept the water from freezing. And you could put that galvanized thing on top of it. And we had that for quite a while, until we got goats. And then we had to figure out the whole water thing. We continued doing that for a year and had a bigger water container, I believe. But eventually, we got these heated water buckets, and it revolutionized what we were doing here on the little farm. I still have to haul the water from up and down from the kitchen to the paddocks, but at least the chickens and the goats and the ducks all have water throughout the day without it freezing up. Our first winter with goats, I don't recall anything major happening. I don't recall it getting unseasonably cold. As a matter of fact, I think the first year we had goats, it was a pretty mild winter. And so that made it really easy. Plus, the goats are so hardy, and the barn is really built very well. I have a lot of confidence in Mr. Steve's carpentry skills, and the goats grow this extra layer of fur, an undercoat, to help them keep warm. They also snuggle together on their platform to keep warm. If I were to heat the barn, they would lose their undercoat, and when they went outside and it was cold outside, it would make them very ill. We do monitor the barn, monitor the temperature and the humidity in the barn with an automatic thermometer, and it reads into the house, so we can see from the house what the temperature is in the barn and what the humidity is. And just like in the beehive, the humidity can really cause a lot of trouble, so you want to make sure that you keep the humidity low inside the barn. And one of the ways I do that is, like I did earlier today, I cleaned out the ducts because the ducts are really wet, and I put clean bedding down. So continually putting that clean bedding, that dry clean bedding, and taking out anything that's too wet out really helps keep the humidity down. Also, we have it a little bit ventilated. Now, we've closed it up pretty good for winter, but we keep it ventilated so that the airflow can still come in and out. And even though it's going to be extremely cold, we don't want it to be airtight. We want to make sure that there's some airflow. This is my first year having ducks inside the big barn. I've got to keep their little area clean. I have to clean it almost every other day. Generally in the barn during the winter time, we like to have a deep litter method. We have some of the dirty, and then we put clean on top, and the dirty creates heat. It keeps the barn a little bit warm. It doesn't really create a whole lot of heat. It just keeps it a little warmer. I'm going to put the dirty bedding in the compost for the ducks. The first year I had ducks. We had those little runner ducks. Oh, those ducks. We love those ducks so much. These girls are just adorable. We love our new ducks too, but these girls were really special. And Mr. Steve Steve got so worried about them during the wintertime. He brought them into the downstairs bathroom. And we had them there for, I think, 3 days, 3 different times, I think. And ducks are really super messy to have in the house. And it took, oh, I really scrubbed that bathroom. But downstairs, in our downstairs bathroom, the floor is concrete, so it's not anything. And then the tile, the floor in the shower. So wasn't that bad to clean up, but I thought that was funny. He just like loved those ducks. He was so worried about them, he couldn't sleep. Had to go bring them into the bathroom. Ducks are pretty resilient. It's the water situation that's hard during the winter for the ducks, because you don't have any outdoor water source. So we learned a lot from having chickens first, because the chickens were really hardy. I learned about the deep litter method, and I learned how resilient animals are during winter. So having the chickens really helped me. Having them as my first animal really helped me to learn about having the goats and how to take care of the ducks. It prepared me, toughened me up too. All right, I'm gonna go get some stuff. Just the same size. They're set, hopefully. Well, I think we're ready. We have to bring in some firewood and build a fire. Brownie's inside wrapped up in a blanket, and so's Corbin. It's hard to believe that in a matter of hours the temperature is going to be dropping 50 degrees. It is gorgeous right now. Perfect weather to be outside. I'm going to try to be outside as much as I can. Even though it's kind of damp out right now, I'm still really enjoying myself being outside. I'm really enjoying your company as well. It's always nice when you stop by here on the little farm. Makes my heart happy. And now you know what I'm going to say. And I say it every time. And I will say it every time. Because it's my way of saying I love you and take care. Thank you for visiting Miss Annette's Little Farm in the Big City. Try to get outside if you can. Bundle up. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Love you. All right. All good. Cold out here, isn't it? Huh? I'll put some fresh hay in there. Are you girls coming out today? Okay, you stay inside. It's okay. It's warmer in there.